Kingsley. He asked the question, how do we judge the quality of our personal and collective memories? So here we go.
Memory, all alone in the moonlight, I can look on the old days. I was beautiful then. So memories. So, I'm gonna take 1 minute here for this slide, not even a minute, 10 seconds. Everybody in here remember your first memory. Try to think about it, think about how crystal clear everything is, how much you remembered your mom looking a certain way, and that sound and that thing. Now take a second and remember that it wasn't like that. It didn't happen that way. Your memory is false. It's not actually real. You remember a perspective of that time. You remember a thing. You remember pieces of it. Metamemory. Metamemory is the act of looking at your memories retrospectively. These are the 5 types of paradigms through which actual scientists, people, will look at your memories. You can Google this stuff later. There's no way we're going to have time to go through this right now. But these 2 little squiggly, alien-looking things that are inside your brain, your hippocampus or your hippocampal complex, that's where all your brain stores all of your real memories. Everything you think about retrospectively and prospectively are stored in those little slugs inside your brain. Prospective memory, for the nerds in this room, that is the Deep Space Nine wormhole, where wormhole aliens communicate to you through your own memories. Prospective memories. What am I going to do in the future? How do I remind myself of what I'm going to do in the future? It's time-based, it's event-based. Quaid! So, false memories. How do we acknowledge, how do we take a second, look ourselves in the face and say, no, my memory is not exact, it is not real. It is changing every second of every day as I recall that memory. If you really want to look in this a little bit further, old people, as you know, are really good at familiarity, but they actually, when looked at under an MRI, have a lot more propensity to give you false memories. Inherently, they have a higher propensity to give you false memories than they do to give you real memories. Let that sink in. So, seriously, I think it's one of those things that if you can just acknowledge this in yourself, it really helps you use metamemory processing to try to acknowledge, okay, well, what sorts of things are actually melting away? What sorts of things do I really remember? And why does the distinction between those things matter? In this instance, I have this up here just to say that we've got a lot of devices to keep us in check. We've got a lot of photographic evidence, a lot of ridiculous things on Facebook, social media, all of the other people around you that are taking photos of you and putting them on Instagram. No, it actually didn't happen that way. You looked like this, you were sweaty and gross. You didn't look like a champion. And so, specifically, I'm really wanting us to just ask ourselves a number of questions. Yeah, there's some people who are familiar with this controversy up here. These lovable scamps up here were a key part of my youth, and I'm sure they're a key part of everybody else here's youth to some degree. The Berenstain Bears. I know them as the Berenstain Bears. Most people in this room remember them as the Berenstain Bears. Not that they had some sort of religious affiliation, they were just the Berenstain Bears. Well, in 1992 they were the Berenstain Bears, but in 2012 they became something a little bit different. The Berenstain Bears. Everybody in here who remembers Berenstain Bears, you're wrong. It wasn't the Berenstain Bears at all. They were the Berenstain Bears. Yeah, Google that. It's a little disconcerting. I've actually had trouble acclimating to this. This is actually a principle called the Mandela effect. And as you can see here, Nelson Mandela in our hexadecant, Google that if you want to check out hexadecant. In our hexadecant died in 2013. In a lot of other people's minds, they remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s. They remember watching him on a state funeral. They remember the candlelight visuals for him and t-shirts about it. How is that possible? The Mandela effect, check it out. This happens with thousands of different cultural memories. Much of the reason that this happens is because of things called epistemic bubbles. Epistemology, the study of your thoughts and the study of knowledge itself. If you don't agree with something, oftentimes your brain actually shuts it out. You don't like politics that your dad's talking about at Thanksgiving? Obama's cool. That's all you think. But you don't listen to some of the little things that he might glean from Fox News. So, in my last few slides here, since this thing is so fast, I really just want people to start asking themselves some questions that I've started asking myself. How close is my memory to the capital T truth? How close is my memory to a lowercase t truth? How do I try to remind myself that my perspective is just my perspective? It's not a fact, it's not the truth, and it is always changing. In remembering your memory, you just changed it. It's over, it's done, you're over. So, 3 things that I think are really important: seek out conflicting proof, free yourself from epistemic bubbles, and please, everybody, when you leave here tonight, remain skeptical, especially of your own memories and your own self.